So what we're going to talk about today is a different style of homes that settlers lived in, and like in their first years or so, and discuss why they chose to live in that style of home. So if you live near a river, you're going to live in a log house most likely because there was lots of trees around. These are made up of big tree logs, and logs are inside holding the house up as well. And usually there was a layer of like hay or other earth materials, probably for like insulation or something like that. The reasons these homes could be built was that because they were next to rivers, because that's the only place that trees were plentiful enough. So this brings us to our next type of home, which is a dugout, because this home was built because there weren't a lot of trees in the area, so they built it into the side of a hill. Which they did still need wood, but there was usually enough just to build the house. There was just enough for the house. It was usually just a one-room house built with the door facing away from an area where the heavy winds would rush into it, because we all know how bad the wind is now in town with big buildings, so imagine it back then. It's said to be the most easy and inexpensive house to build for settlers in that day. The next type of home is a sod home. And these were built on prairie lands where the only thing you pretty much had to build the house with was the earth. They used brush and trees that they could find to hold the home up around it. This was said to be the most difficult home to build because of the physical demand. Settlers also built their barns and fences out of sod as well. The issue these homes had was they're very low to the ground, and so the snow would drift over them at some point. And I kind of got curious when I was thinking about a sod home. You'd think that eventually, if you had like a drought, that it would get so dry that the home would crack, and then it would not hold up very well. And the final type of house that we're talking about is a claim shack. Now, these were, I guess, wooden houses that were covered with tar paper, and they were just put on a claim. And oftentimes settlers, they said that these homes were really cold in the winter, and then they smelled terrible in the summer because of the tar paper. So usually after a couple of crops, they would build a nicer house or something out of different material and just use this as like a shed, like a tool shed or something like that after they built a new house. Now keep in mind, all of these home types are usually for new settlers in the area, and people that had been there a while had already probably built a frame house like we have, like the way that modern houses are built today. And that back then would show social status and financial success, and also probably help people to tell whether you've been there a while or not. That's all. Thanks.